Hey, what's up guys? NPS3D here and welcome back. And in today's tutorial, we're going to create some audio reactor with Element 3D and After Effects. So let's take a final look. After that, we'll start the tutorial. So here I uploaded 9 hours ago, and here is my result. So let's take a. Alright, so you can see it's moving on with audio, and this is pretty much cool, and it's so simple but little bit tricky. So we'll cover the 2 minute techniques to create these types of work. So I use Ray Giant Sound Keys plugin from for creating audio reactor. But if you don't have, you will create like these types of audio reactor. So let's start the tutorial, and here is my YouTube channel. If you search www.youtube.com/nps3d tm, so you will find the my channel, and there are a lot of tutorials, tips, tricks, experiment. I also break down some project files, so please be sure to check out my YouTube page, Facebook page, Twitter page, and here is my Instagram page. Here I uploaded my upcoming work. So here is a work I uploaded maybe 2 days ago, and this is a perfect def inspired by video copyright. So maybe I'll say the breakdown for of this project, otherwise I will make a full tutorial for this one. So let's continue the first, but first let's continue with this tutorial. So just open the After Effect. So basically in this tutorial we will cover the technique how, if you have animated mask, so how you can put those animation inside After Effect, extrude that object, and it will react the same animation before mask. Maybe I can't explain very well because my English is not too good, but let me show you. So just open the file. So if you go to the first one, so skip this one, and here is our result, which I show you in tutorial, sorry, in the work. So let's move on the tutorial. So there is two ways. So this result I created with sound keys, and this one is created without any third party plugin, just only need Element 3D. So these both are good. So I will show you both methods. So first select all these things and put in a new folder, and just create a new comp and call this, first we'll call sound keys. So this is it. Create a new solid and call this Element 3D, and we'll also create a new solid called this sound keys, and put your own sound. So in this case I am going to use this one, Alright, so this is good. So put down here and cut this. So select both layers, music and sound keys layer, and just pre-compose, and we'll call this audio. Fine. So go inside the folder, and here we will apply a sound keys plugin on this layer, and this plugin is from Red Giant. So just choose our audio layer, and in the graph elements we'll just hide all of this. Alright, so hide this one. Fine. And in the spectrum adjustment, there is a table. You can adjust low, high quality, color map, gradient. So I am going to pick this one and increase fill segment like this. So let's play this. Alright, so this is good for now. So go back to the sound keys composition, and here is our layer. So just move this here, audio layer, and so choose maybe 15 second is good. So just press N and trim come to work area. See the result. Disable the sound. So you can see good. So let's move on. So the most tricky and the good part of tutorial is now started. So select our layer, go to the customize, sorry, layer auto trace. So here is a option, two option, current frame and work area. So what does current frame? So frame only calculate the single frame where you are in our composition, but the work area calculate all these frames in our comp. So we'll choose the work area and the settings. These are all settings. Make sure the corner roundness is 0. Apply to a new layer and just press OK. So it will take some time, but let's see after that. So here you can see these are masks and these are animated masks. So all good, and let's move on next step. So disable, maybe we'll just call this, rename this mask, and go to the our element 3D layer and just apply element 3D, and in our custom layers, custom text and mask, and here we will choose mask. Fine. So go to the scene setup and just click extrude. So recently you can see, and you can find your graph, or you can say your audio reactor. So this, and now just go, here is a tessellation option, path resolution. So you can choose low, because low is also good, and we don't need too much segment because we are not going to bend and deform all of this. So depend on your choice. So make sure, so normal is good, and make sure optimize mesh option is on, and my home is almost near the public road as always because I live here. So here is too much noise, so let's move on. And in our material setting, you can tweak some changes if you want. So like expand edges like this, or you can like that. So all of this, and if you are making these types of things, like if you are making material like this, so you can also add your own texture just like my previous tutorial. So if you not watched it, so please go there and watch it. So how to stick your logo, text, video, anything or Elemet 3D layer. So that tutorial was good, and this is also good. So moving with this, and also extrusion depend on your choice, bigger, smaller. So let's try with bigger. Bigger is looking good, and all of this is good. Bevel backward on, backside on. So hit OK. So if you play this, you can say it's not playing as our audio reactor. So what we will do, just create a new camera. 35 millimeter is good. So press A and just add a simple wiggle expression, 0.001 comma point zero 0.01. Close the bracket, and now you can see it's moving, but it's looking not good. So what we will do, we will create two more masks, but this will just a static object, not moving. So here and here, just small out of our composition. So these two are not moving. Fine. So go to the Elemet 3D layer scene setup. So you can see both layers. So we are only focusing on this one. So hit OK and set fit. Maybe go to the scene setup. Hit OK. See, and put here. Hey, let's play this. So now you can see it's playing well. So let's move on next step. Go to the scene setup and create a plane. Put down here. Scale this a little bit large like this, and just apply a pro shader metal material. And in this time, I'm going to make a wet texture, maybe wet texture. I'll make a wet texture. So in plane, in the UV mapping, and here I'll choose 5 and 5 and X and Z. So cool, and make sure this plane is reflect, mirror surface is on, and I am going to make a wet texture. So what will go in the glossiness, we'll just brighten a little bit like this, and just put down glossiness. And our reflection, I mean our environment map, basic. So let's tweak some more. Alright, so this is wet and looking good. Put little bit up, just like this. Fine. So this texture is good, and you can tweak or just change texture depend on your choice. But this is good. And for our audio reactor, we can create a separate texture. So go to the render and just show in background. So this will look a little bit nicer. go here and rotate our environment like this. So put like this one. So let's see. Alright. So looking good. And we will change the environment anytime, but this is good. So fine. So it's time to create a texture for our model. And we can also create lights. So let's see what and how much we can play with these things. So these all are just play, play and play. So this angle is looking good. So we'll also put that angle here. Fine. And white is looking good, but I will show you a second method. So this is looking good, and now I am going to show you a second method to create uh, without sound keys. So just create a new audio layer. So here we got the audio comp and just solid an audio spectrum, and this is a free plugin with After Effect. So put our audio here. So just copy this one, Control C, and paste it here. All right. So read the camera trigger, and in our audio layer, we'll choose our audio, this one. So hide the audio, and you can see. So decrease the softness and increase the thickness like this. And frequency bands, maximum height. You can also increase maximum height, and the frequency band a little bit down like this. And here is a side option. We'll choose side B and just apply a new polar coordinates. So this will react like this. Fine. So you can see, and in anytime you can increase maximum height like this one. Fine. So now for this one I am going to use only 7 seconds. Alright, so hey, good tutorial. What setting motion blur do you use in composition? So basically I don't use motion blur all time because my system is not too good, but in most cases when we have to do motion blur, that time I will just click Elemet 3D layer and just enable motion blur, and here is motion blur for all this composition, and just render this. And uh, if you're not happy with your motion blur, here is the option for shutter angle, sample per frame, so you can tweak it here. So thanks for comment. So let's move on the tutorial, and here we are. So let's get the next step. So put this audio. So select, just put that audio. Maybe which one is, call this audio circle. Fine. And put this one is here. Fine. Or just create a second one. So just second E3D. Fine. and just add your circle here. You can see. uh, and do the same thing, layer auto.
Press and all the setting are same, just press OK. And it will take some time, but after that we will find a animated mask. So if you have your own animation with like step layers, or just you have created a solid and mask like anything, so you can do the same things here and you will find a 3D animation with animated mask. So this will be fun, cool. So just play and do result, do experiment. And if you use Instagram, please hashtag NPS3D and I will see your result. So or you can send me on FB. So this is good. So just hide both layers and use solid and element 3D layer and just add element 3D. And here we just choose custom layer, custom texture, custom text and mask and auto test circle, scene setup. All things are the same. Go to the extrude and you'll find this one. And here it's not showing because just add a new camera first and do the same thing. Press A and just add and click here and add a wiggle expression. 0.0, very low amount value. 0.0. And this is moving with like this. So we'll create a mask with the same mask we put in Element 3D custom mask. So just select this auto test layer and just out of this frame, out of our composition, like where. And now you can see, just open scene setup one time and all things will be good. So here is it. So put this here. And if you want to move your axis here, so just select the thing, press W and just click here. This will lock and put down here like this and just disable this. So now it is here. And you can also tweak your material, but this is good for to know you how I did it all these things. And you can see all things is good.
Alright, so let's move our previous tutorial. I mean here, Control S to save this, and just Element 3D and render and ambient occlusion enable. You can use this one because we don't need too much, but you can also use ray trace and just decrease the gamma 1% before after. And this one, this is also good, so increase the intensity like this. So this is also good. And if you want to project any your video, so you can also take your video texture as Alma 3D custom texture and put that things. Let me show you. So now I'm going to use a texture, but this is a video texture. So Element 3D and custom layer, custom texture map, and audio. And just select our layer, I mean our model, and our material properties, and here we'll choose the texture. Fine. So here, so you can do it. So you can just increase UV mapping, all this stuff. So I'm not going to do, and I'm going to show you how I created that glowing texture. So let's move on and create how to create that glowing texture. So maybe 1080 by 1080 is good, and we'll just show it, and that all these things change, and just add a wiggle expression on white. 2 comma 200 is good. So this is good, and just create some mask like this, or not shape layer. Select this layer and just create some mask like this, some big, some small, like this, and just duplicate this one and call this BC. And here we'll do the same thing, but delete our mask, all this mask, delete. Fine. So add a CC box blur, sorry, CC ball action, CC. So add CC ball action, and just like this. So 35, and we can also tweak it later if we want, if we want. So M, so T for opacity, and decrease the opacity like this. Oh, we did wrong, but just T for opacity. I don't know what's going on, but let's move on. So put this comp here, Element 3D, custom layer, and here we'll put comp 2. So you can see this one. Go to the scene setup and go to the model UV mapping and choose the UV. So this will look like this, and depend on what you play. So maybe 3, or just polygon is not good. So box, maybe box is a little bit, box repeat. And so maybe 6 and 6. So okay, this is good, and this is not illuminating too much our requirement. So just go down, and here is the illumination. So just click use diffuse color and increase. Fine. So hit OK. So little bit more illumination. So let's play this. So you can see. So this is the idea how I created the audio reactors inside Element 3D, and this is not for only audio reactor. You can create your own animated custom mask. So this will be fun, and I will love to see your work. So that's it. Our texture is only 7 seconds. That's why it's finished here. So and if you want to add some motion blur, so just go to the camera and just enable the motion blur, and maybe 1200, and just increase the aperture maybe 300. So this is also looking good, and motion blur play a good job for your work. So and you can also do some color collection, like add a curse effect and just add a blue and control duplicate, and just delete this one and add a tint effect, and just put this one is here like this, down the opacity. So all good. And you can also there solid dynamic black, and you can also create lights and cast shadow. But this is enough for tutorial, and you can create yourself obviously. So this is the trick how I created animated mask inside Element 3D. So thanks for watching. Thanks for loving me. I'm NPS3D and keep watching and be sure to check out my YouTube page and help me to grow up. Thank you so much for all these things. Thank you so much. Keep working and keep smiling and keep watching NPS3D and hashtag NPS3D to see your work. So thank you. Thank you so much.